A double murder case from 2 decades ago has led to a Heflin man being sentenced to prison for the rest of his life.
A state grant will help area victims of domestic violence, and local economic developers have a new ally.
It is Christmas week, and we have a very important forecast coming up. We'll have the complete forecast for Christmas week coming up.
The ASWA All-State football team was released over the weekend. Those details are coming up in sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edward.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
A 22-year-old double homicide investigation in Heflin came to an end last week as Louis LaDon Spivey pleaded guilty to 2 counts of capital murder in the 2002 deaths of Monica Rollins and her son Dalton. Spivey has been sentenced to life without parole for those crimes. Investigators reopened this cold case almost 4 years ago and began from scratch as they re-examined every piece of evidence and DNA sample from the scene of the murders. Spivey was arrested in June 2023 as he was being released from a Florida prison where he was serving a 15-year sentence for an unrelated crime. Investigators say Spivey was considered a suspect in the early days of the investigation, but no charges were filed at that time. On September 16, 2002, the bodies of Monica Rollins, who was 8.5 months pregnant, and her son Dalton, who was 6 years old, were found inside their home on Sugar Hill Road in Heflin. Both had apparently been stabbed to death several days before the discovery. Also in the home was Monica's 3-year-old son, who was found unharmed. The initial investigation did not lead to any arrest, and Heflin Police Captain Scott Bonner reopened the investigation in January 2021. He received help from the 7th Circuit District Attorney's Office, the Cleburne County Sheriff's Office, the Alabama Attorney General's Office, and the JSU Forensics Lab. At the time of Spivey's arrest, Bonner said the investigation had provided a long-awaited moment of closure for the Rollins family.
A Gadsden police officer was involved in a single vehicle accident while returning home after completing his shift this weekend. State troopers say the wreck happened early Saturday morning on U.S. Highway 411 in St. Clair County. The officer sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to UAB Hospital, where he's listed in stable condition. The cause of that accident is under investigation. Victims of domestic violence and sexual assault in several East Alabama counties will receive assistance through programs that will share in $1.76 million in state funds that were awarded this week by Governor Kay Ivey. That funding will be distributed to 7 agencies to provide services to victims in a total of 29 counties. The money comes from the U.S. Department of Justice and will be administered by the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs. Various agencies that serve Clay, Randolph, and St. Clair counties will be receiving some of those grants to provide multiple services, including shelter, judicial assistance, and compensation claims.
A local agency has added a new member to work on economic development for the region. We'll have that story in a minute.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth from CARES Direct Primary Care. Do you want convenient 24/7 access to health care? We're available in person, by text, phone, and video visit. Sooner or later, we all get sick. A quick trip to an ER or urgent care can quickly add up to more than the cost of 1 year's membership of Direct Primary Care. If you have a high deductible, you can quickly burn through that before your insurance activates. Join CARES DPC today.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Greg Barker has been elected to serve as a board member of One East Alabama, in addition to serving as an economic development advisor. Barker will support the agency in developing and realizing its growth properties and goals for East Alabama. Barker's been an active advocate for workforce development, recognizing the critical role that education and training play in economic success. His initiatives have often focused on aligning workforce skills with the needs of local industries, ensuring that communities are to meet the demands of a dynamic economic landscape. Additionally, Kelly Pierce will remain the director of One East Alabama. In this role, she will continue to build momentum among community leaders. She will be responsible for working with the advisory councils, members, and investors of One East to ensure the development of a strategic plan to enhance the quality of life in East Alabama. Terry Smiley, Eastern Division Vice President of Alabama Power Company and Chairman of One East Alabama, says the appointments of Barker and Pierce mark a new chapter of growth and innovation for the area. One East Alabama is a regional economic development alliance serving the counties of Calhoun, Clay, Cleburne, Coosa, Etowah, Randolph, St. Clair, Tallapoosa, and Talladega. What was the mysterious fireball that people reported seeing throughout the South this weekend? We'll tell you more in just a minute.
Oxford Lumber makes this year's Christmas shopping easy with gifts everyone will enjoy.
Always be prepared with the Nebo Newton Black LED flashlight for just $31.99.
For gifts like this and so much more, come on in and shop local at Oxford Lumber.
Barrett Body Shop has moved to its new location on Highway 431 in Alexandria. Barrett has been delivering top-notch collision repair in Calhoun County since 2000. Our skilled team restores your vehicle to pre-accident condition with a commitment to quality and safety. Choose Barrett Body Shop for honest, reliable service.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Thousands of people across the South saw a bright object streak through the sky Saturday night around 10 o'clock. First reports indicated that it might be part of the Ursid meteor shower that's peaking right now. But NASA scientists later said it was probably the remnants of a communication satellite that was breaking apart and falling out of orbit. Lots of people captured videos of the fireball on their cell phones and security cameras, then shared them on social media. And for a brief time, it even took attention away from those drones in New Jersey. Did you happen to catch that?
No, actually, I did not.
I didn't either. No, I only saw the video later, which was all over social media.
Yes, it was. Well, it's only 2 days until Christmas, so lots of people will be traveling this week for the holiday. John Holder, who is standing by in the Camping World Weather Center, has this look at the week's weather. John?
Mike and Katie, Christmas coming up, and we've got the complete forecast details for Christmas and beyond. It's next.
'Twas the night before family came into my house and I could feed no one, not even my spouse. I had to think quickly, so I jumped in my car, hoping a solution would not be far. I drove in a panic, thinking my options were slim. Then a calm came over me when I remembered, oh yeah, WM. I pulled in with confidence and nary a fright, knowing deep in my heart WM would make it right. WM had it all, they had everything I need. I waltzed up and down the aisle, my cart as my steed. If something was missing or not to be found, no fear, WM employees' knowledge always is sound. Everything was gathered, my list was checked twice, and after checking out I was shocked. Oh my gosh, what a great price. I could finally go home, my crisis averted, and a sigh of relief knowing supper would not be diverted. So if you have to feed your guest and your outlook is grim, just relax, take a deep breath, and hurry on to WM.
Hi, Tim Wilcox here from Buster Miles Ford and Chevrolet. We just want to take a second and wish everybody at home a Merry Christmas. We know this time of year things get busy, travel, holiday plans. We want to make sure that you're not worried about your car. So we're offering complimentary service vehicle pickup and return. So So we'll pick it up from your home or your work. We'll bring it back to you when it's completed. All you have to do is let us know when you set your appointment. Safe travels to everybody at home. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
EAN News would like to thank all our commercial sponsors. Go check out our sponsors' links in the description below. EAN Local Weather is brought to you by Camping World of Anniston, America's recreational dealer.
Here's the Camping World weather cam, and it's showing today plenty of blue sky and sunshine all across East Alabama. John Holder with you in the Camping World Weather Center. And despite the sunshine today, temperature still a little bit on the cool side, a little bit below normal. 53 for the high today. Our average is 56. Same deal this morning. We dropped down to 33. Our average is 36, so about 3 degrees below the average for both the daytime highs and the nighttime lows. Time for weather on your street on a Monday night. Going to take you out to Ossington Avenue on McClellan in Anniston. Clear and chilly tonight. We're going below freezing for one more night, dropping down to 30 degrees overnight under clear skies. Coming up tomorrow, it is Christmas Eve. A lot of folks, perhaps even you, will be out there getting those last-minute errands run. Maybe you got to go to the grocery store, last-minute gifts, stocking stuffers, lots of activity tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Warmer. Will be approaching 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Oxford Exchange Boulevard, you know where that is. That's the main road that leads into the Oxford Exchange. That will be a very busy place tomorrow. The good news is the weather will be good if you're headed out to the Exchange. As we look ahead to the rest of the work week across East Alabama, it's going to be a few raindrops out there on Rainbow Drive in Rainbow City. Maybe after Christmas, you got some after Christmas shopping going on at a lot of the businesses there along Rainbow Drive. Mainly low 60s, warm temperature. And as we said, we will be dodging a few raindrops later on in the week. Here's the 7-day forecast for all of East Alabama. This will include your Christmas forecast. A great day coming up tomorrow. Then on Christmas Day, a little bit of rainfall, about a 30% chance of rain. We think this will be mainly in the afternoon hours. This is not a big deal. It's going to be warm on Christmas morning, waking up to 35 degrees, rising to 60 in the afternoon. Not as cold on Christmas night at 44. Small chance of rain on Thursday. Maybe an easterly flow, bringing in a little bit cooler air in for Thursday as the high will drop back down to 56 degrees. But we're right back in the 60s again toward the end of the week. About 60 degrees on Friday. 40% rain chances. Again, not an all-day rain, just some pesky showers out there on Saturday and Sunday. But look at those temperatures. 64 degrees, well above the average for this time of year. Late December in Alabama will take it. Those nighttime lows rising close to 50 degrees for the low Saturday night. Sunday, we're going to wake up to 53 degrees, and then we stay in the 60s on Monday as we begin to close out 2024. Well, the weather maker that's coming that will provide us the rain that we talked about on Christmas Day. See, got all this area of green right here. That's the light rain showers for Christmas afternoon. Got a cold front out to our west, a low pressure system in Arkansas, another front up here along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. All of that working together to fire off a few showers here, light showers, mainly in the afternoon hours, perhaps after your Christmas lunch coming up on Wednesday. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. for your Christmas Eve forecast for all of East Alabama. Coming up next in sports, Jordan Smith going to talk some all-state football. Jordan?
Charles Kelly has been named the head football coach at Jack State, and he's already made some hires. We'll get those details in just a moment. Over the weekend, the 2024 All-State ASWA football team was released, and we have several athletes here from East Alabama that made either the first team, second team, or honorable mention. Starting in Class 6A, the first team, running back TJ Worthley of Gadsden City made it in. Wide receiver Jalen Taylor from Oxford. And from Southside, offensive lineman Jamin Brown made it into the first team in Class 6A. On the defensive side, defensive lineman Keenan Britt from Oxford Yellow Jackets. From Gadsden City, defensive back Zion Gibson. And as athlete, DK Wilson from the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Moving over to the second team in 6A, it was all Oxford, with quarterback Mason Mims, running back Caleb Wynn, wide receiver Nick Richardson, and at defensive back Cedric Twyman. Moving over to 5A on the first team, quarterback from Moody, Charlie Johnston. Also from Moody, wide receiver Josiah Dozier, and Barack Willis on the defensive line for Moody. From Central Clay, linebacker JT Wilkerson. Defensive back from Moody, Sidney Walton. In it, athlete Deshaun Gibson from Central Clay, and as athlete as well, Connor Nelson from the Leeds Greenway. In 5A on the second team, Zay English from Jacksonville made it in. Linebacker Bryce Allen from the Golden Eagles. Also defensive back Quay McNeil from the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. For punter from the Moody Blue Devils, Caleb Goff. And going in as athlete, Tyler Boyd for the Central Clay Volunteers. Moving on into 4A, first team, offensive lineman from Anniston, Sharante Bailey. Also from Cherokee County, Asa Holbert in at the offensive line. Defensive lineman Tay Diamond goes in for the Warriors of Cherokee County. Also linebacker Tristan Brown. On the athlete side of the ball, Jamison Sissom goes in for the Etowah Blue Devils, and DeQuavian Salter from the Hanley Tigers. For a second team, features offensive lineman from Cherokee County, Landon Ransom, and kicker from the Alexandria Valley Cubs, Cleet Forrest. On the defensive side, defensive lineman Dylan Duncan from the Cherokee County Warriors, and defensive back Eli Lanier from the Anniston Bulldogs. Damon Pope goes in as the athlete from Anniston. 4A honorable mentions features offensive lineman from Cherokee County, Ben Mosley. Defensive lineman Charles Thomas from the Anniston Bulldogs. And going in as athlete is Bryce Whitaker from the Hoax Bluff Eagles. Moving over to 3A in their first team, running back Mo Winston from Randolph County. Raleigh Pinto picks up the wide receiver position from the Piedmont Bulldogs. On the defensive side, Kel Austin goes in as a defensive lineman for the Piedmont Bulldogs. Linebacker Nate Jones in from Ohatchee. And athlete Caden Gooden goes in for the Weaver Bearcats. 3A second team, quarterback from Piedmont, Cole Wilson gets in, as well as Ethan Carroll from the Wellborn Panthers, and at kicker, Reed Barker from the Westbrook Christian Warriors. On the defensive side of the ball, Bentley Chandler in from the Bulldogs of Piedmont, and at athlete, Brody Blevins from Westbrook Christian, and Jalen Hurd from the Ohatchee Indians. 3A honorable mention, quarterback from Ohatchee, Jake Roberson. Wide receiver Ish Bethel from the Piedmont Bulldogs. Also in at wide receiver Colby Hester from the Ohatchee Indians, and defensive lineman Gus Hunter. Moving over to 2A, the first team in Class 2A, Jorge Cantanello from Coosa Christian in at kicker, linebacker Cleet O'Brien from the Conquerors of Coosa Christian, and athlete from Pleasant Valley, Jaden Sparks. 2A second team, wide receiver Hunter Sparks from the Pleasant Valley Raiders, defensive lineman Cade Mickler from Coosa Christian, and athlete from Pleasant Valley, Braxton Salter. 2A honorable mentions features linebacker Noah Johnson of Pleasant Valley and defensive back Cooper Dougal from the Pleasant Valley Raiders. Also, defensive back Kalen Johnson from Coosa Christian. In Class 1A, running back Jaquez Wilkes makes it in from Wadley on the first team running back position. Offensive line Jacob Welch from the Spring Garden Panthers, and kicker from Donahoe, Bruce Downey. On the defensive side of the ball, Jabari Burns from Wadley makes it in as a defensive lineman. Linebacker Hayes Farrell from Donahoe. Also from Donahoe, in at punter Kai Kleckler. In at athletes for the 1A first team, Frisco Robertson from Wadley, and athlete John Welch from Spring Garden. Moving on to the second team, Connor Bates in at running back from the Spring Garden Panthers. Running back Cortavion Lynch from the Wadley Bulldogs. Offensive lineman Braden Johnson from the Donahoe Falcons. Offensive lineman Caden Ponder from Winterboro. On the defensive side of the ball, from Spring Garden, defensive lineman Gray Simpson. Also from Spring Garden, defensive back Noah Barber, and athlete Ty Taylor from Wadley. Moving on to 1A honorable mentions, linebacker Luke Brewer from Raglan, and the 1A Coach of the Year this year is from the 1A State Championship. Shannon Motley is the 1A Head Coach of the Year. On Saturday, Vice President for Athletics Greg Seitz announced that the hiring of Charles Kelly is official to be the next Gamecock head football coach. As I told you on Friday, Kelly has made several stops here within the South and is an Alabama native. Kelly has been an outstanding recruiter in years past, landing names like Caleb Downs, Will Anderson, Isaiah Bond, Brian Branch, and former Oxford players Anquan Fagan and Traquan Fagan. Kelly has also served on 2 coaching staffs who have won national championships, Florida State in 2013 and Alabama in 2020. Jack State will be Kelly's first head coaching stop in his career. Over the weekend, he's already begun naming his staff. Kelly's first hire was Clint Trickett. Trickett will serve as the Gamecocks offensive coordinator. Trickett spent the last season at Georgia Southern as the pass game coordinator and coached the tight ends and inside receivers. Prior to that, he spent 2 seasons as the OC at Marshall, where his offense was second in the Sun Belt in rushing with 205.9 yards per game. During his playing career as quarterback, Trickett played at West Virginia and Florida State, amassing 5,837 passing yards and 32 touchdowns. Clint Trickett was not the only hire Charles Kelly made over the weekend. Kelly also elected to retain Clint's father, Rick Trickett, who was part of Rich Rod's staff at Jack State. Rick Trickett and Kelly were both on the same coaching staff at Florida State during the national championship run. Trickett will remain the offensive line coach under Kelly. That'll do it for EAN Local Sports. Let's head back over to Mike and Katie.
And thanks for that update, Jordan, and thank you for watching us today. You'll find us here every weeknight on Facebook, YouTube, on our website, and on Rumble.
That's right. Go to the platform of your choice. Watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you back here next week for your news on your schedule.